In Jerusalem, Jesus enters into the temple and he sees the merchants there trading. And he is filled with a righteous anger that anyone would defile his Father's house. And so he drives them all out, saying, "How can you make my Father's house a den of thieves?" And when his disciples witness this, they remember what the prophets have said about the Messiah, that zeal for his house will consume him. That is what it means to be zealous. One of Jesus' apostles is named a zealot, Simon. But what does that particular title mean? Zealots were a form, a group of individuals within Judaism who were filled with a righteous anger against those who would oppress them. In this particular situation, the Romans. And they sought to foment rebellion amongst the Jews to drive out the Roman oppressors. Fomenting rebellion, promoting violence. Simon was of this group. But that Jesus would choose someone who would advocate violence in a way to purify the nation by driving out every defilement, much like Jesus drives out defilement from the temple. That Jesus would choose someone like this means that he can take any flaw in humanity and transform it into virtue. We see that, in fact, because Simon the Zealot, who once would foment rebellion and promote violence against his fellow man, even against a pagan, Jesus takes that and transforms the heart of Simon such that Simon now is so on fire with love for God, so filled with zeal for the gospel truth, that instead of sowing violence, he sows love for both Jew and Gentile, so that all might come to know and love God and be filled with righteousness. Saints in the making. What does this show to us today? That God can take our worst flaws and can transform them into virtues for his glory and for the salvation of others. But he can only do so if we let him. He can only do so if you and I make space for grace.